Oh, there it is. Happy day, everybody. Uh, Boy, there's an awful red tide bloom this year off of the west coast of Florida. And I'm one of the early graduates of the marine biology, the marine science program at the University of Tampa. And I'm going to call them up and see if I can't interview somebody about that because I've never seen red tide kill mammals like and turtles. It's all and the big fish, the real big fish are dying. So I'm going to call up UT and see if there's anybody in the department that I can interview. We get their phone number.
Thank you for calling the University of Tampa. The university's administrative and academic offices are closed.
Well, shit.
Normal business hours will resume at 8:30 a.m. If you'd like to hear the latest safety and security bulletin, press 9. If this is an emergency, you may speak with the campus safety and security dispatcher by pressing 0. If you know your party's extension and are calling from a touch-tone phone, press 4. If you'd like to hear a list of resident hall extensions, press 1. If you'd like to hear a list of administrative extensions, press 2. If you'd like to hear a list of academic department extensions, press 3. For the College of Arts and Letters, press 1. For the College of Business, press 2. For the College of Natural and Health Sciences, press 3. For the College of Social Sciences, Mathematics, and Education, press 4. Thank you. One moment, please. UT's Master of Fine Arts. Hello, you have reached Janet Allen with the College of Natural Health Sciences. Our summer hours are Monday to Thursday, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. If you have reached my voicemail, I'm either away from my desk or on another call, but please leave your name and number and a brief message, and I will get back to you shortly. Thank you and have a great day.
Hi, my name's Tommy Wasserberg. I'm class of 78 graduate with marine biology. And I'm a journalist today, independent journalist. Um, and I'm looking at these reports of red tide bloom, and I've never seen red tide kill the big animals like it is this year. And I'd like to know if I can interview one of the crops that might be involved in looking at this, please. My number is 512. I'm sorry, 520 241 2776. Thank you.
Thank you. To review this message, press 6. Hi, my name's Tommy Wasserberg. I'm a class of 78 graduate with marine biology, and I'm a journalist today. I'm a journalist. And I'm looking at these reports of red tide killing, and I've never seen red tide kill the big animals like it is this year. And I'd like to know if I can interview one of the crops that might be involved in looking at this. And my number is 512. I'm sorry, 520 241 2776. Thank you. To review this message, press 6. To discard your message and re-record it, press 4. To send your message, press 5. Thank you. Your message has been sent. Please listen.
Goodbye. Thank you. Um, I guess as long as I got one up here, this is what's going on. This is one of the stories I'm looking at close right now because it's unusual. I've never ever seen the mammals getting killed by red tide or turtles. Just the fish. It's the toxins in the water. They have to, you know, the turtles and the mammals are breathing air. They don't have to breathe the water, and they're not taking it in. I guess, and something is able to vector into them some other way than through the gills. So let's find that story. Are those just pictures? There's blue-green algae blooms in the Calhousatee, Lake Okeechobee, St. Lucie Canal in Martin County. What else I got in this? Because it was just pictures. And here's the source. Independent photographer. Oh, it's Weathercat, the Weatherman on WINK. And they're mostly, the pictures that we're looking at are mostly from Lee County. I'm not sure what Lee County is. I think that might be Fort Myers. Yeah, these let me see. I'm gonna search on this isn't a news story. This was independent, or not an independent. This was the weatherman from WINK who posted a bunch of a bunch of pictures. Fuck PETA. What's PETA got to do with this shit? Let's see what's going on. Four days ago. Okay, new August 2nd. There's a news story from My Palm Beach Post. Let's see what else we got before we open one. Deciphering the Red Blight. This looks like a good one. Sarasota Herald. CNN, fuck you. AOL, fuck you. HuffPost, fuck you. The local papers are usually always the best. The big ones have their spin. The local papers are telling you what's going on. This is by Gatehouse, Florida. Updated 8:32 this morning. About 4 hours old. Is climate change the culprit? What is Lake Okeechobee's impact? How many animals are dying? We have answers. And we have a fucking click-through bullshit in my face. Just a moment, please. I need to answer a survey to continue reading this. Which of the following types of vehicles do you plan to be in the market for in the next 12 months? None. I'm hoping to be in the market. I know better than to plan the way my cash flow is. Okay, we're back. Okay. There's little question thousands of dead fish have fouled area beaches during the weekend, and dozens of manatee corpses recovered since the start of the year were victims of red tide, which produces a toxin that attacks the nervous system. I've never seen the manatees get killed like this by it. You know, it's always seemed to me to be the small fish who wash up in about 1,000. Algal bloom experts are scratching their heads over why the deadly menace is still here this deep into summer. The late checkout of Carenia brevis, which is usually gone by early spring, means it's overlapping with a blight of blue-green algae on the Caloosahatchee River. The combination is a gut punch to summer tourism. Is climate change contributing to this outbreak? Researchers in their annual State of the Climate Change report warned that a warming globe could lead to an increase in ecological tragedies. The years 2014 through 2017 were the warmest years on record for Earth since measurements began in the late 1800s. This one's even warmer, according to the report. Scientists, including Florida Atlantic University's J. William Luda, have said algae blooms will worsen with the warmer temperatures and higher rainfall that come with climate change. Record May rains in Florida are largely to blame for the blue-green algae that grew this summer in the Caloosahatchee River and St. Lucie estuary, as high amounts of nutrients were washed in from the watershed. Discharges from Lake Okeechobee exacerbate the problem, adding algae and diluting the brackish waterways. Where does red tide come from? Red tide grows far offshore in the Gulf of Mexico and pile up near the coast in the fall as winter wind patterns blow cold fronts into Florida. It prefers ocean water, unlike freshwater blue-green algae, and it's usually gone by the end of March, said Richard Stump, a scientist with the National Centers for Coastal Ocean Science. We don't understand the biology of what's happening. It wasn't replaced by something else. It didn't die off. We don't know why that is. It's not unprecedented, though. A red tide bloom that began in 2004 lasted for 18 months, said Tracy Fanera, staff scientist at Mote Marine Laboratory in Sarasota. Is the red tide outbreak the result of runoff from Lake Okeechobee? Red tide takes advantage of high nutrient levels near the coast to multiply, Fanera said, but it was not Lake Okeechobee discharges that initiated this year's bloom. She also notes that the mouth of the Caloosahatchee is too far south for its water to reach areas such as Venice, which has also suffered bouts of red tide this summer. That's the biggest misconception that we hear. Lake O releases did not initiate this bloom. It's unique that it's lasted this late into the summer, but it's not necessarily widespread, and we've had blooms that have gone all the way up into the Panhandle. It's important for people to know that while the bloom is extending from Sarasota to Naples, it's very patchy. One beach may be bad, and just a little down the road, the other will be okay. What other factors play a role in moving red tide? Stump said the red tide drifted south, then back north this summer. A wind shift is likely what caused thousands of dead fish to wash ashore on normally pristine Sanibel Island this past weekend. Winds play a major role when and where red tide strikes. Red tide also can get caught in the loop current and carried into the Atlantic, where it typically disperses. That's why it's rare for southeast Florida to get red tide outbreaks, but it has been seen as far north as Delaware. What has been the toll on high-profile marine mammals? This one, wow. This year, 485 manatees died in Florida through July 20th. Of those, 29 were red tide related, with another 51 suspected to be from red tide. The 485 is the highest number of manatee deaths for this time of year since 2013, when 694 manatees died through mid-July. Turtles are also suffering. The total number of dead or sick sea turtles in Sarasota, Charlotte, Lee, and Collier counties is 404 from November 1st, when the red tide event began, to Monday. That's double the amount of the 5-year average, said Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission spokeswoman Michelle Carr. Check beach conditions, including whether dead fish are present at visitbeaches.org. This site is run by Mote Marine Laboratory. I probably should check that out sometime. Let's just open it now and go visit it when I get a minute. This doesn't say anything about the porpoises, and I saw several. I saw a dead one, a picture of dead porpoise in that bunch of pictures. So anyway, that's probably plenty for this, because this is about red tide outbreak in Florida. So happy day. Thanks for watching. Bye.